This is about the brief reflection of my journey of life. I'm getting old enough and thinking various things, even related to my near-death experience I explained in my voice memo or YouTube. There's a saying which says something like Buddha and the Dharma are still in the process of training. The point there is that as we live, the environment keeps changing, impermanence there, as much as we are changing. Our skill may be changing, our understanding may be changing, our construct may be changing, the health is changing, everything is changing. So yesterday's me is not the same as today's me. We may not notice it, but I'm sure that's what's happening because there's new learning and new awareness, new attitude, behavior, habit, and new destiny, possibly. So when I talked about the continuous improvement in one of those books, I used the word or the concept of plan, do, check, action. Or I often say not PDCA, plan, do, check, action, but starting with C, check, act, plan, do. Because you cannot plan without checking what's going on and analyzing or deciding what to do, and therefore planning what next things to do and act on that plan and check again. So the process of improvement or the process of the journey in life is pretty much the same. In the case of the journey of life, as I mentioned, we are changing, but the journey is the process of plan, do, check, act, or check, act, plan, do. Continuously doing this. If we are repeating the same mistakes or trying different things at random, it's not quite like a PDCA or CAPD. There's no circle. You just may do like a plan, do, try this, try that. And you may have the same mistake over and over. So we are not reflecting, understanding what went right and wrong, what can be done, and keep on trying. So the journey to me, in general, is the process like that. Not just for the improvement idea for one item that we want to improve. I was doing some work in my garage to fix my weight belt for diving, and I made a mistake. I learned it and I changed it, and then there's another, finding I discover, and then I keep changing. So that's the learning. As much as in my awareness of my being, there's lots of ideas floating around, and I synthesize them to make a decision. And my skill set and approach seem to be changing over and over. Just looking at all the YouTube videos that I posted, maybe there's 150 or more of them, and over time I point out certain awareness, learning, reflection, insight, all those stuff. And by doing so, I'm trying to put the idea embedded within my whole being so that I can challenge the next step and keep on going. So that's the process of learning and trying to capture the essence so that we challenge into the new future, new passage. So this idea of the progression as we live our life is a continuous process of learning, trying to not make the same kind of mistake, but learning from the past or acquiring the skills and ideas into the future and trying to put those things in ourselves. So using an example of swimming, the swimming we may learn in the school or with a blackboard and teacher tell you how to swim, and you go do the exercise and then check how you're doing, and they may give you advice and then keep on going back and forth. Or you may do this by yourself. So Certain sports are very difficult, like surfing. It took so many years, but gradually you develop skills. And as you develop skills, you start to see things better because you are acquiring skills that become your habit and use that as a base to explore. Therefore, you find new problems that didn't exist before or what was not noticed before. So as you experience and capture those experiences as a whole, more you accumulate the data, so to speak, and the reference points, then you can address the issues better, and then your whole skill set and your whole being become changing as you go. More subtle things may become clear, so that the things that you forgot maybe or you didn't notice may be more important as you develop the skill. So this continues with working on the skill for the swimming or surfing or any invention idea or investment or, like I said, for the life's journey. So basically, that's the important awareness and understanding I'm capturing in this video. What does that mean? Early on, I said that Buddha and Dharma are still in the process of training. Buddha is a spiritually awakened person. Dharma is one of the patriarchs who took the Buddhist idea or the Zen idea into China and expanded further on. They are still training. Everything is impermanent. And in that impermanence in the environment, we are trying to swim as if and learning new skills. In the meantime, as you get older, you cannot do as much. And certainly that put more impediment, difficulties for us. So we need to be wiser until we die. Recent experience of I call it the near-death experience. And for that purpose, I was going through this learning from death kind of idea. I posted in the YouTube. For whatever reason, I did it in June of this year. And the idea behind that is to face the difficulties, face the inevitables, and still how you find a solution, how you bring out the wisdom. That's the theme. And if I can make a brief explanation of the model that I think about, we come up with the idea of what to do and keep on doing, but it's not good enough, as you get tired or older and the skill may be, disintegrating and so on and so forth. So you still need to be creative and wise to address given the situation. So it's a continuous process. And that's life itself. And therefore, as you face death eventually, as you start to disintegrate as you get older, the memory may not be good and the strength may not be good, endurance may be weakening. Given that, we still have to find the circle of competence, whatever we can do to make the most of life. So, back again, that's the PDCA, CFPD process, never ending. And as we move on and prepare for death, inevitables, and going through the hurdles, because if you face death or learn from death, you may find that what's the point of worrying? You want to go ahead and move on with life. So that's part of the equation, or important part of the equation that we need to keep solving. So I go back to the same point of calm and quiet mind, or using the Buddhist term, PDCA may be replaced by the word Sila Samadhi Panya. Sila is doing the right conduct, Samadhi is calm and quiet mind. And with that is the panya or prajna, the wisdom. So that we go through this Shila Samadhi panya. And you cannot practice it in the right way, so you modify it and go through this calm and quiet mind to identify the idea and what needs to be done and practice it. That's the right conduct and keep on moving forward. So it goes back to the original point of Buddha and Dharma is still in the process of training and progression into the future. And the bottom line of all of this is that if we are prepared for death and we keep going through this PDCA, CAPD, Shila Samadhi Panya, as far as I can tell, that's how we find what to do in this impermanence that we face. When things change internally, externally, but given whatever the big data we have acquired, accessing those data from unconsciousness, so to speak, and capturing the new information and using the basis of our understanding and so forth to move on courageously, the best we can, and find meaning in what we do, where we may be able to share with others and learn from each other. Hopefully, I would come back to this point, revisit over and over. Hopefully, I may have a chance to share with those ideas and exchange ideas, because one person's knowledge may be limited. We have lots of information out there, and there may be a platform that we can provide here so that we can share ideas, understanding, and be courageous in moving forward and hopefully having fun along the way. The essence of this, as I said, is to feel comfortable as we are. Given the situation, we do our best, know who we are, and feel comfortable. The mind may get into our way because of the habitual pattern and the influence from somewhere else, but let's have a calm and quiet mind and sort things out, make the right decision, do the right conduct, and move on in our life. Thank you.